Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of CB Rebuilds. In today's episode, we're going to be starting a new series with a Jeep Wrangler JK. We'll be painting the Jeep with a bedliner coating to give it a nice, tough appearance. This Jeep is blue, or was blue, and it had some body damage here on the fender and the door. So we are going to be spraying the exterior of the vehicle with bedliner. We're going to be using a product called RAPTOR Liner with a tintable metallic coating in it. So it will be a blue metallic color when we're done. Should give it a nice tough appearance and be very durable for trail riding in this Jeep Wrangler. Alright folks, so here's the Jeep door and fender that we were jamming out earlier in this episode. So we got the jams all sprayed out with the blue metallic and the clear coat. So the inside of this door is latched. But this door has been jammed. You won't be able to really see it in the video at that point, but you can see that we've got this nice black finish on the outside, the original color of the door. So what we have to do now, just like the hood, is we have to prep this whole side of this Jeep to be ready for bedliner. And to do that, we need to get some 100 grit sandpaper and sand everything. All surfaces need to have this nice satin sheen to them so that the bedliner will stick to it. And that's what I'm going to be working on now with the assistance of my wife. So you'll see my wife maybe in the background of the video here, but we're going to work on getting this sanded up and ready for the bedliner spray coat. Alright folks, well, we're going to have to call it a night for tonight. As you can tell, we got most of the body side down here. We got the other side ramped up earlier, and we touched it up tonight. Started working on the grill. The grill's getting scuffed, but you know, these slots take a little bit of time. You can see that this one's done really well. This one's still not done. So we'll have to go through and do all the grill slats and make sure we do all the door openings and all the door edges. Any sharp edge we need to make sure has a nice satin finish or the paint won't stick. So we're going to call it a night for tonight, and we're going to try again tomorrow and see if we can get this finished up. Hey folks, welcome back to CB Rebuilds. We finished up sanding the Jeep. Pretty much got everything sanded down, or might be a few little spots we need to touch up. But we're getting real close to getting ready to spray. So there's a couple of things we need to do before we apply the bedliner. One, we need to mask off everything we're not going to spray. But two, we need to go through, and anywhere there's bare metal, we need to use self-etching primer. So self-etching primer adheres to the metal and kind of seals off the metal, and that's a requirement of the bedliner, is to not touch bare metal. I'm not sure why, but they say not to, so we'll make sure we do our best to keep it down. And then we'll go around with either a wax and grease remover, or I'm going to use acetone to wipe down the body. So we'll wipe down the body everywhere. That'll keep the dust that was on the surface. It should remove it, and it dries pretty fast. And so what we'll do is we'll go around, anything we're going to tape off, wipe it down with a dry rag, tape it off, and then we'll go back to the painted surfaces, or the surfaces we're going to paint. We're going to wipe them down with acetone, get them real clean, and then we'll be ready to spray. So give you guys a little bit of a look on how we're going to tape this thing off after we get it done. Okay folks, so it is a new day. Prepping for paint takes a long time, but we've got it all sanded, or as far as we're going to sand it, and we've got it all masked. So I'll take you around, show you kind of the mask that I put on. Not saying that there's a better way or not a better way, but at least you can see how I did it, give you an idea on how to do it in the future. Alright, so in this area in the wheel wells, I just put the tape on the back side of the metal and then stuck the plastic to the front side, and that just makes a nice barrier. And you can see I got that going on in all the wheel wells. And then what we're spraying today, we're going to be spraying in the jams. So we taped up inside the jams as well, the same way. So the tape is stuck this way and then the plastic sticks to it. We've got it all taped off. So what we'll do is we'll spray the jams first. So we'll spray all the way through the jams with the bedliner, and then we're going to clear the latches off, and we'll shut the doors very gently. As long as there's not a ton of overspray on the plastic, it shouldn't bother the inside of the door. And then we'll be able to close the doors and spray the entire outside, and that's the plan. So Like stuff like the gas cap and the wiring, they just have plastic bags over them just to keep them from getting any paint, and taped off the door handles and the door locks. But we've got this thing pretty much ready to go. The next step for me is to wipe it all down with acetone, and after we get the acetone done, it'll be time to mix up the paint and get ready to spray. So I'll probably just leave that on for a time lapse for everybody to see kind of how the paint goes on. Alright, so we've got the Jeep wiped down, cleaned up as best we're going to clean it up. We're going to put our masks on. I got a helper in here today. You'll probably see him around in the video. We're going to put our masks on, put the hardener in the first quart and try to get started here. We do have 5 quarts of product. The last time I did a Jeep, it was a 2-door Jeep. I used 3 quarts of product. This time with the bigger Jeep and doing the inside of the door openings, I thought maybe I'd need a little more product, so I bought 5 quarts. We've already got 3 quarts mixed up with the color that we're going to use. So all we have to do is add the hardener, grab the gun, and start shooting. There are some components behind the Jeep on the floor, the grill, the cowl, and the window frame brackets, but they'll get painted as well as we get going. Just give them a quick wipe with acetone as well, and then we'll be ready to go.
Alright folks, well you saw we got it sprayed in. I'm still wearing my mask because it's pretty pretty thick in here. You don't want to be breathing this if you don't have filtration, so we're going to let it set up for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then we're going to pull all the tape off because we don't want the tape to be cured to the paint. So we'll give it a little bit to set up, you get nice and tacky, and then we'll pull all the tape off, and you'll get to see what it looks like clean before we start putting components back on.
So you can see we got her unmasked, and you know, now it's got to let it set. It needs to set up for 7 hours without really being touched, and really it's 7 days until it's fully cured. For at least the first day here, I'm going to try to keep the heat on really hot, let it really cure out, and then I might go to reduced heat because I don't keep it that warm in here all the time. So I think it has a nice finish. Hopefully once it gets all set up, we'll take you around. We'll get it all back together. We'll take you around and let you look at it fully. But that ends this episode of CB Rebuilds. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content.